Alright, Northwoods Cardboard Gang, today we're going to be talking about your Pokemon sealed investment in booster boxes. That's right, we're going to go back to Sword and Shield and look at 4 booster boxes that are just on the cusp of breaking free, but one thing is holding them back. Alright everybody, I'm Andy with Northwoods TCG, and today we're going to be taking a look at four Pokemon booster boxes for your sealed product investment that you should be looking at that are just on the cusp of breaking free. And there's one thing that is really holding them back, and we'll get to that a little bit later. But the first one I'm going to bring up to you is going to be this one, which is going to be Fusion Strike. Alright guys, so today the first one we got here is going to be Fusion Strike. Fusion Strike is one of them sets that's had its ups and downs. It really never went too far below $100. Overall, the set has had a really good standing point when it comes down to a Pokemon investment sealed product. With that Gengar VMAX, that Espeon VMAX going into that Mew VMAX, along with a couple other Vs, such as the Mew V inside of it, and also coming up with the Celebi V, all being inside of this set is a huge hit when it comes down to it. Overall, I think this is going to continue to be a fairly good chase inside of this. I think people are going to want to revisit this, and we may see some really good things in the future of this. Now, once again, the one thing I've never liked about Fusion Strike is it always comes across as kind of a garbage set. And the reason I say that, I always call it a garbage set because it's all the remaining sets from 2021, kind of some of 2020, all jammed into one set, and it's a huge set because of that, which means that the pull rates on it can get extremely difficult, and you start seeing a lot of commons getting used over and over and over again, just because of the fact that we are seeing so many cards in one set. So once again, this one did take the #1 spot for the biggest set, toppling Cosmic Eclipse when it came down to it at the end of the day with this particular product. Overall, I think that the Fusion Strike set will do extremely well, and this is what I'm going to call a last call for this particular set. In my opinion, this is right at that point where it's going to kind of bounce here for a little bit, and when we get a little bit further in the video, I'll explain why. But overall, this set is actually right on the cusp of breaking free, and once I think it breaks free and breaks that MSRP point, we're going to see some really good things out of Fusion Strike in the next 5 years. I think it's going to be a really good set. Overall, has a lot to offer, really good cards. It's got an Evolution in it, it's got Gengar in it, it's got Celebi in it, which really brings a good drawing point to this set in the overall scheme of things when it comes down to Pokemon sealed product. And for your Pokemon investment, I really like that kind of thing because that's what collectors are going to be looking for in the future. So once again, guys, this is going to be my first one that I have on the list, and now we're going to go ahead and kick into Silver Tempest. Alright, so here we are at Silver Tempest. I know I'm saying in one video to go ahead and sell this thing, and I do agree with this still, but I'm going to put up a point on here on why after this thing goes through a reprint, I'm still thinking there'll be a reprint on this particular set. And from what I'm seeing kind of on the graph, it seems like maybe some other people are starting to think the same thing because we are seeing a little bit of downward pressure on this particular set. Now, when this thing goes through a reprint, if a reprint does occur on this, I definitely think that that'd be a good opportunity to buy. Once again, it's another one of those sets that I say is kind of on the cusp of breaking through a ceiling of that MSRP point, and once we get past that point, I think the set will do really well. That Lugia V, of course, is going to do really well in the future. It's a very desired card. I really like it. I think a lot of collectors in general really enjoy that particular card, and overall, I see some really good things futuristically when it comes down to this booster box long term. Overall, wait for this reprint and kind of go through it. We're seeing it bounce on the ceiling once again at that 145 range, and hopefully here in a few months or even a couple of years, we'll see this thing break through fairly easily and be up there really good, really in a nice place overall when it comes down to your investment. You could see some really good gains at year over year here shortly on this particular set as we move a little bit further away from its release date. As we get past that 2-year mark, that's definitely going to be a big feature when it comes down to it. We're just crossing the year mark now. We're still early on, but Pokemon is really pushing Scarlet and Violet, and I do not think we'll be seeing a ton of reprints of these particular products moving into the future. I think we're going to be very limited on the amount of product that will continue to come out for these particular sets because Pokemon is moving forward into the next era and not putting as much emphasis on the older era. So that's definitely going to be a factor when it comes down to your investment on these particular products. So once again, I think that the Silver Tempest booster box after this reprint, I would be selling it right now because I do think there'll be a reprint, or selling down on your stock and then purchasing it a little bit more once it falls a little bit, and then get that back in after possibly a reprint here in the near future. I would be really surprised if we don't hear an announcement, considering we've heard every set leading up to it at this point in time. So once again, just something to keep in mind, watch for. We're bouncing on that ceiling once again of that MSRP, and once again, I'll explain why that's probably happening and why I think that once something changes, we'll really see these start to go up really quickly. So moving on to the next one, which is going to be Brilliant Stars. All right, guys, so here we are at Brilliant Stars. That's right, Brilliant Stars, once again, a really nice set in general. I do like that alternate art Charizard chase that's inside of there going into the Arceus. There's a really nice alternate Arceus in there, the Arceus Gold card. There's a couple Rainbow with the Charizard Rainbow and the Arceus Rainbow inside of there. So overall, the set is really packed with some really good things. And overall, I think that this set will do really well in the future as we move forward. I think that there's some good opportunities in here. And once again, I do think the trainer gallery is fairly good considering it's the first trainer gallery of Sword and Shield. Overall, I think that that's going to be a draw. So you do have a really good trainer gallery chase on this one. You do have an alternate art Charizard, you have a Rainbow Charizard, you have a Rainbow Arceus, and you have a Gold Arceus. So you've got a loaded box with a lot of different options. Once again, we've been bouncing around that 145 range for quite a while again. It did break away and went all the way up to 180, and then it slowly came back down into that 145. We had a small reprint on this one, once again, a restock reprint, and it kind of pulled that down back down to that MSRP range. So that's one of the factors that I look at. Overall, this set is really good. I think it's going to be a very desirable set. Once again, it's got Charizard in it. We know that Charizard sets really do well in the future. They always seem to draw a fan favorite. People love Charizard chases. The Zard chase is real, and that's something that we might be seeing when it comes down to this Pokemon investment into this sealed product. I think that there's some really good opportunities in this booster box. It's a sealed product investment in booster boxes, and it's really going to be something that'll do really well in the future. So once again, I think that we're past probably any major reprints on this particular set. This might be a last call once again before this one goes up quickly, and we might see some good acceleration here in the near future on this particular set. And that's going to be a big factor when it comes down to it. So we're going to move on to the next one. All right, guys. So the next one's kind of an honorable mention. It's kind of done really well, and then it kind of backtracked a little bit. But overall, I do see some really good things for this set futuristically. It is loaded full of some beautiful alternate arts inside of it, and it really has some good potential. But before I give it to you, will you do me a favor and hit that subscribe, hit that notify, and once again, hit that like button? Greatly appreciate it if you could do that as we're moving through this video. Helps out the channel and moves things along. Hopefully, if you've gone this far, you've gotten some good information for the subscribe and, of course, a like on this video to help me out. But the next one I'm going to put up here is going to be this particular one, which is Chilling Reign. That's right. Chilling Reign to me is one of them sets that I've liked Chilling Reign. I've said Chilling Reign for a long time. I was one of them guys that actually got in to begin with about $75 in investment per booster box, and overall it has not disappointed me. I was kind of thinking that anyways, and if you go back through my channel for quite a while, I said that this set is kind of a sleeper with all of the alternate art opportunities in this particular set. There are a lot of good alternate arts in this set that really could drive this thing up really quickly, you know. And that's the thing is that a lot of times, sometimes you forget about these sets because you got Evolving Skies that was released right after it within, like, I think it was like 6 or 7 weeks. These sets were really crammed together there on the release dates between Chilling Reign, Evolving Skies, Celebrations, Fusion Strike. They were all just slammed together in like a 4-month period. Or 5 months, we had 4 sets released, and it was just chaotic for trying to keep track of what was going on. Some sets got dropped to the wayside. Some sets did really well and continued to push forward. Celebrations, of course, was the main draw at that point in time, and Evolving Skies followed shortly after that with that chase for Moonbreon and VMAX at the end of the day. So that was one of those things that was really hampering these sets from doing extremely well, even though they were packed full of a lot of good things. And this is one of them sets that had a lot of alternate arts in them. But yes, it's a little bit harder pull rates on this particular set, which was one of the things that really kind of kept it down also. But overall, I think that there's some good options inside here. I think there's some good sets to be looking at and some very good alternate arts that people are going to want futuristically when it comes down to what you're looking for your collection. So once again, definitely something in there for a lot of different people, a lot of different collectors, and you're going to need these cards in order to finish some collections. So it's definitely a good piece to have. Overall, for a Pokemon investment and sealed product, I think it's a great option to have on the shelf, but it's not quite at the point where I would say it's waiting for something to break the cusp. But there's definitely that opportunity where it may do it shortly here and be one of them sets that could be doing it. And now might be another one of those times. Watch the charts, watch when it drops down a little bit. Kind of likes to drop down to about 140 and then go back up to that 145, 148 range. And it kind of just keeps bouncing, but it's a little bit heavier of a bounce than all the rest of them. So once again, definitely some good opportunities to possibly buy this at a lower price around that 140 to 139 and get into it a little bit cheaper than the other sets on this list. Next one I'm going to go into is Lost Origins. All right, here we are at Lost Origin. This is going to be the last set that I talk about before I explain why I think these sets are about to jailbreak and go way up in price, and there's something holding them back, and it's pretty simple when it comes down to it. So this one is going to be Lost Origin. Lost Origin, of course, was a huge chase when it came down to the trainer gallery. It has all the Pikachus inside the trainer gallery, which is a great chase. It also has that Giratina card inside of it, and that's another big chase when it comes down to it. That card is going to do extremely well in the future, and I think it's going to continue to draw people into this one also to really push things forward. Overall, I think the trainer gallery and that alternate art have a really good chance of doing really well, and we have seen Lost Origins spike and go way up in price. It went all the way up to almost 165. We've got a small reprint. It's reappeared in places, and we've seen a reduction in price, which is not surprising at the end of the day when we do see a reprint of a particular booster box. But do I think that this is going to overall hamper the performance of this set overall? No, I do not. I think that this set will continue to draw more people in. Pikachu, of course, a huge collector's piece. Everybody that comes into the hobby seems to have some fascination with Pikachu, and with that draw bringing people back in, it's really going to be a draw to really grow and cause Lost Origins to go up for that particular trainer gallery set with those Pikachu inside of it. So once again, I think there's some really good opportunity in this particular set. That's why it's the one that I put the highest ranking. I think that this one has the best chance once we see a change in a certain area to really go up in price and really have nothing really slowing it down at that point in time. So once again, this is the last one I got on here. Once again, for a Pokemon sealed booster box investment, I definitely think that these are some great alternatives to the Scarlet and Violet sets right now. And right now might be a couple last calls. If you want to get in on these, you're probably going to want to look at it now rather than later. That's going to be a big hit once they actually break free and go up. And I think they'll go up fairly quick after that. So all right, so the real question is, and one real reason of this video is, what is actually keeping these from actually pushing through that max point? Why are they all kind of sitting there at that MSRP point but not wanting to push through? And what is keeping them there? Well, today I'm going to tell you the simple reason on why this is occurring, and you're going to kind of be like laughing at why it is. And overall, I think it's truly just because of the fact you can buy them at PokemonCenter.com. Why would they go past that $144 range by very much if you can just go online and buy them Pokemon Center? The only advantage that you have the TCG Player over Pokemon Center is that TCG Player, some sellers offer international shipping. So if you're looking for this box in Europe, Canada, or another country that's not part of the continental United States, you have to go through TCG Player to order them, or through your own Pokemon Center if your country has one, if it's available to you in those countries. If not, you have to buy them on the open market, and that's where a lot of people were saying that's why Brilliant Stars was up to like $180 on TCG Player while it was still available on PokemonCenter.com. It was just because those international sales were really holding that thing up at that point. But we've even seen a correction on that, which is not surprising. That $144 to me is a really good ceiling to kind of keep people in check right now until Pokemon Center sells out. Once Pokemon Center sells out, a lot of these are going to lose that cap. They're going to lose that ceiling. They're going to break through that ceiling, and they're going to do extremely well and continue to move up. What's going to stop them at that point in time? There'll be no reprints. PokemonCenter.com is not putting them in check because, hey, there's no more product there available for them, just like some of the other sets we've seen, like Evolving Skies. Nothing on PokemonCenter.com. It just shoots, and there's nothing to really catch it. So I think that we're going to be seeing that mostly on Lost Origin, and I really do think that even Fusion Strike has a really good chance of doing really well once it gets off of Pokemon Center. Brilliant Stars, same thing. We've seen some tendencies for them sets to want to go, but then they get kind of pulled back. There's reins keeping it from going and pushing a little bit further, and that's the reasoning that I think it is. You can buy this product someplace else at a cheaper price, and there's something keeping a ceiling on it. Once that's gone, once that safety net's gone, this sets are all going to go. And with them getting a little bit older, they're putting emphasis on, onto the Scarlet and Violet scene now. We got Pokemon 151 or Scarlet and Violet 151 just right around the corner here in October. And it's going to be another factor. It's going to turn people and away from some of these Sword and Shield sets, and they're not really going to be interested in doing a lot of reprints on the booster box side of these particular products. So once again, now might be a good time to start looking at purchasing these. I don't think there's a huge rush, but if you really want to get in on these and think that these are good Pokemon sealed investments, you might want to do it as soon as you see Pokemon Center sell out. Because once Pokemon Center sells out, there's nothing holding these things back any longer, and then they're going to be free reign to see where they go. So once again, one of those opinions I have is I think that that's what we're going to be seeing. I think that once they sell out, they'll do well. Overall, I think they're good. They're all good Pokemon sealed investments and booster boxes. I think overall they all have something to offer for a lot of different collectors, which is a draw for these particular sets. And once again, I'm not afraid to sit there and say that I'd be buying them at this point in time either. So once again, guys, if this is some good information, if you made it this far into the video, be sure you hit that subscribe, hit that notify, and last but not least, hit that like button. Thanks for watching once again, and we're going to be doing Choose Your Path here on Wednesday. We're going to be having Pokemon Classics join us here on Wednesday to talk about his path in the Pokemon TCG and how he became successful in purchasing and collecting vintage Pokemon cards. So once again, guys, thank you for your time. If you do like this kind of content, wait to the end of the video. There'll be 2 more at the end of here for you to watch. And we'll see you next time here on Northwoods TCG.